starting things on time. So it's time. And it's out of respect for those of you that showed up on time. So I just do it. It's like, okay, people are on their way, and we're going to start for the people that showed up. My name is Gina Murphy-Darling, and I host an all-green talk radio show called Mrs. Green Goes Mainstream that airs every Saturday at noon. It's on KNST 790 News Talk Radio, and it's live streaming on the internet. And I have a website, very active website with lots of hits, which is a good thing. And I have a newsletter that I send out, an e-letter every other week about topics regarding green. And my mantra for the radio show is that what if living green can be fun? It's not a heavy issue. It shouldn't ever be a depressing issue. And to me, it's all about living consciously. And I have a lot of wonderful listeners that have become a part of the community, and I'm thrilled to be here today with these people who are making a difference. They're impressive to me because they're each making a difference in their part of the world. And to me, if you think globally and act locally, you're making a difference globally. And they are indeed making global differences. Darren's actually been a guest on my show. They get it in terms of where we are as a planet, in terms of our resources, our social responsibilities, and they see how everything is tied together. So this is not a random choice. John is going to set the tone for what sustainability means, and it's not like you just do this sustainable thing. It's sustainable practices. And he said he was going to be quick, but I said, no, you have to speak for 15 minutes, John. They're talking about things that are happening every day, and they're really doing something about it. To me, my mantra is just do one thing. If you want to know what I think that one thing is, never use a plastic bag again for the rest of your life, because that will make a difference. If you just do that one thing, it'll have a multiple effect forever. Okay, so our guest, John Neville, has lots of titles after his name, and he said, just say, I'm a Yankee, and I live in Sedona, so the Yankee goes to Sedona, and he gets things done. I love what John wrote when we were preparing for this panel via email, and he said, with all my work, yes, it's coming back to haunt you, I take a systems approach, and so it is with sustainable living. So John will be providing us with an overview of what sustainability means and setting the framework for the discussion. His background is in sustainable development. He is the president of Sustainable Arizona, and I've spent a lot of time on their website. It's content rich. And he helps large companies, towards a combination of continuous improvement, which I love that also, and fewer negative impacts with a dash of social responsibility. So John will be first, then we'll be hearing from Sharon, and I'll introduce her, and then we'll be hearing from Darren. So without further ado, and thanks for sitting by me, John. I didn't want to be over here all by myself.
Thank you. Am I up?
You're up.
No, I mean, is this thing working? Ah, good. Okay. Hi. Yeah, I'm a Yankee, I guess. At any rate, a Yankee by 30 years in Minnesota, where the core value there is quality of life. And then I moved to Arizona, where the core value is property rights. Culture shock. At any rate, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what sustainability is, and then I'm going to use a framework that was put forth by One Planet Living to take you through kind of an overview of things. You can't read that. When I heard I was doing this, I went and Googled everybody on this. Now, Darren I knew from FreeCycle before, because I did a little article when he started his organization, put it up on our website. I thought, this is a great thing. So we have a link to FreeCycle. And then I didn't know Sharon. I went and found her blog, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And I networked her with a bunch of people, because we're having an agricultural renaissance up in northern Arizona. And I wanted to connect them with what she had, so I went and got her book. And I said, okay, I'll do this big overview, and I was very gracious about it. Then I read her book, and I went, oh, wait a minute. There's a very nice big overview in this, so you should read this book. And I followed her instructions, and I got it out of the library. Sorry. Yeah, that's recycling. Okay, this is a model that I used that was introduced years and years and years ago. I got involved in sustainable development back in 1987, 88, after the Brundtland Commission coined the phrase, sustainable development means meeting the needs of today without interfering with future generations' ability to meet their needs. I like taking it one step further and saying meeting the needs of today while ensuring that future generations can thrive. And that says something different. And at any rate, this is something we use. It's a mental model to say when you make decisions about business and how you operate, you need to balance economic, social, and environmental concerns, because businesses have routinely externalized. You understand that concept, externalized, that they don't count what the true costs of doing business are. They just leave that stuff outside. You worry about it. For instance, the cost of gasoline, even when it's up about $4 or $5 a gallon, doesn't begin to cover the true cost of gasoline. And if we internalized all those costs, then suddenly we'd be paying, every time we buy something, we'd be paying the true cost of it, and we wouldn't buy stupid things. And since we can externalize, we make stupid purchase decisions all the time, and that's why we're in the fix we are. At any rate, that's a mental model that we use, but it's inaccurate. This is more accurate. This one of the things that tries me when I read in the press nowadays. They say environmentalists are concerned about drilling for uranium up by the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon area. What do you mean, environmentalists? The environment is everything there is and us. You can't not be an environmentalist. You can claim you're not an environmentalist, but you are part of the environment. It's everything there is and you. That's what the environment is. And inside of that environment, we operate in two man-made constructs. One is our community, which is how we relate to each other, and that varies widely, even within, say, Tucson. You can go to different areas within Tucson and find that the community and how people relate to each other is varied. But that's something we figured out how to do when we wanted to get along with people. And then economy. And our economy is screwy. Our economy is supposed to be how we manage our eco, which is where we live. It's our habitat. It's our neighborhood. It's the same root word as ecology. And an economy should be a means of managing where we live. Instead, it's the flow of goods and services, it's capital, it's that sort of thing. And consequently, how we deal with things is completely out of whack. If you take a look at our economic stimulus package, for instance, they're still talking about sustaining our core structure, which is a debt-driven economy. Our money is made from debt. It's not made from things we value. And as long as we keep doing that, we're screwed. That's a technical term. Okay, what I'm going to use as a format here is the concept of ecological footprint. Does everybody know what I mean when I say ecological footprint? I'm getting a few, okay, some, okay. An ecological footprint is basically how much space on Earth you take up by living your lifestyle. If everyone in the world lived the way you do, could you live on one planet? If everyone in the world lived the way the average American lived, we would need 5 planet Earths to sustain us. Imagine if everyone in China lived the way we do. We have less than 5% of the world's population. If everyone lived the way Europeans lived, and they live a lot simpler than we do. They got trains, things like that to get around, but they live in smaller spaces. We still need 3 Earths. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to live on one planet?